has it been a year? Like literally, has it been a year already since I did the last sword review? I guess so, because when I checked my last upload, it was about a year ago. So I am so sorry. I apologize for that. Life happens. Between starting my other channel and getting that up and going, it's going great. At least I hope it's going great. I'd like to think that it's going great. Uh, Getting married and moving several times. It's been crazy, guys. I really do apologize. Thank you so much for your patience and sticking with me throughout everything. I know recently I've done a whole lot of food and spicy challenges here on the channel, but that's because like I stated before, I like to change it up. I get bored. I like to try something different. If you guys haven't seen those, go ahead and refer back to them. Check them out. Please like and share them, because I don't think the views reflect the effort that was put into them. But enough of that. Today I'm actually back with a sword review. Like I said in my last video, I promised it was going to be a sword review. And today it's going to be a Lord of the Rings sword review. Not an official licensed replica. It's an unofficial replica that I picked up at last year's 2017 Ohio Ren Fair. I have Stryder, the Sword of Aragorn, from Lord of the Rings. More specifically from, I'd say, the first two movies, from Fellowship and The Two Towers, because in Return of the King, obviously, he trades in Stryder, this sword, his ranger sword, for Anduril, the Flame of the West, that was given to him by Elrond. This is a nice sword. I've been wanting to get this for a long time. Like I said, it's not the official replica. I wish it was. I do have plans to get an official licensed replica from United Cutlery, because like I said before, I've said in my past sword reviews, United Cutlery does the best Hobbit and Lord of the Rings official licensed replicas. No, hands down, no matter what anyone else wants to say, United Cutlery, they're the best. They're the ones you want to go through. Unless, of course, you want to spend thousands of dollars on an actual Weta Workshop prop. Weta Workshops, obviously, is the production company who handled all of the prop making, the sword and the weapons and the armor, all of that for the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings movies, basically contracted by Peter Jackson when the movies were in production. But let's go ahead and get on to this. Like I said, not an official replica, so it may not be fully detailed. I do notice some inaccuracies, which I'll get to here in a moment. First, we will start off with the sword itself. It is very, very nice. Since it is not an official licensed replica, it will not have any branding on it. It won't have United Cutlery, a serial number, or anything like that branded on the blade or anywhere else on the sword. This piece has nothing. It has nothing whatsoever. I like this. I really do like this. This is one of the first swords that I wanted, but never got a chance to get. Let me recant a statement. I did not get this at last year's Renaissance Fair. I got Anduril Flame of the West 2 years ago at the Ohio Renaissance Fair. This, however, I just picked up a few weeks ago at the Columbus, Ohio 2018 Wizard World Comic-Con. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Why'd you tell me it was from the Ohio Ren Fair? That's because I'm constantly getting the Ren Fair and Comic-Cons mixed up, just for the fact that for some reason Comic-Con likes to sell swords. Which doesn't bother me at all, because that just means that I get to do and participate in things that, two things that have to do with lots of swords and sharp stuff and cool stuff like that. But yeah, this was not purchased at the Ohio Ren Fair. This was purchased at Wizard World Columbus, Comic-Con and Wizard World this past year. Sorry if I'm talking too fast. It's been a while. But, like I said, not an official. It's unofficial. It has a 34-inch blade, which is pretty standard for most swords of this style. It's not sharp. It has a faux edge on both sides. It can be sharpened, however. This is 440 steel. Now, it doesn't state that it's 440 steel, but I know because the vendor who sold it to me said that all of his stuff was 440 steel or carbon. He doesn't sell anything lower than 440 steel, which is good because 440 steel, while not carbon, while not the best steel, still holds up and can hold an edge quite well. So it can be sharpened. I'm just on the fence about actually sharpening it because once I get an official license replica, that will more than likely be sharp. And if it's not, I will sharpen it. It has an 8-inch blood groove or fuller, for all you heathens out there who don't believe in calling it a blood groove. But it is. That's what it's called. That's what it was originally termed, was a blood groove back in the days of the Vikings and medieval knights. They never called it a fuller until modern day Renaissance, probably like more along the lines of like around the 1800s. Was it that's when it was started to be referred to as a fuller. But it's a blood groove, people. Get over it. Plus, it just sounds cooler when you call it a blood groove. So it's an 8-inch blood groove on both sides. The sword itself is, like I said, it's got a 34-inch blade, but it's 44 inches overall from tip to pommel. The sword features a stainless steel pommel accents hilt. It's the same for the scabbard. I'll get to the scabbard here in just a second. Now, it's got a leather wrapped handle, which is really nice. It's good for gripping, so it's got a really good grip. This thing is not going to slide out of your hand whatsoever, so that's really, really good. The sword itself is relatively light too. I'd say this is only like maybe about 4.5, 5-pound sword, so you can swing it around rather well and not worry about getting tired out too quickly. So it's actually really good for a training sword if you're into that. It is quite sturdy. Like I said, not sharp, so therefore it makes it safer to train with. The scabbard now also is nicely leather wrapped. Go ahead and put this back for a moment, if I can get it in there. Like I said, scabbard is leather wrapped, has nice leather and stainless steel buckles here and here. It came with a 10-inch throwing knife that has a 6-inch blade. This, however, is very, 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 very sharp. So be careful with that. Now, a funny thing about this is when I purchased this at Comic-Con, the box that he opened to show me that everything was included, he did not see the knife in with the scabbard. So therefore, he went and took the knife from his display on the table and put it in here, and then wrapped the box back up, nice and neat, and sold it to me and sent me on my way. When I got home and I unboxed it, I found that not only this knife was in the scabbard, but at the very bottom of the box was the original knife that was supposed to come with the one that I purchased. So basically, I got 2 throwing knives for the price of 1. So I wasn't complaining about that. I gave the other one to my wife, Jessica. The scabbard is 39.5 inches long. It's got steel accents all throughout, stainless steel accents. Most of the time when it comes to scabbards, you're not going to find any better quality metal on the scabbard than stainless steel. That's about it. Every now and again you might find some copper or brass fittings like accents on it, but stainless steel obviously is the best for a scabbard. It doesn't need to have anything too fancy. It's a scabbard. Together with the sword and the scabbard combined, it is a whopping 50 inches long. So 50 inches from pommel to the very tip of the scabbard. 50 inches. In my opinion, aesthetically, this is probably the most rugged, realistic, and practical of all the Hobbit, Lord of the Rings weapons. Mainly just because there are actually lots of swords that look like this in medieval Renaissance history. It's not too outlandish, it's not too fancy, unlike some of the other Hobbit, Lord of the Rings swords that you've seen. It doesn't have a whole lot of detailing or gold fittings or jewels or anything like that. It's just a simple sword for fighting, for killing. Of course, you don't want to do that. Like I said, the sword by itself weighs around roughly 5 pounds, but and the scabbard itself probably weighs, I'm thinking, about 3 pounds. So altogether, it's about 8 pounds. This is all about, it's about 8 or 9 pounds. No more than 9 pounds. It's going to be really good to use when I go to future Renaissance fairs. I can't wait to be able to take this to a Renaissance fair. That's pretty much it. I'm just going to go ahead and give you a good close-up one more time of it. Like I said, this is Stryder, the sword of Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. Unofficial, not the official. There are some imperfections in the stainless steel, in the pommel and the hilt, but that's totally fine. That's not a problem. Like I said, here's the blood groove going down. It could be constructed a little bit better, I think, but for the price I paid, which was only $75, I don't think it's too terrible. Considering once I purchase the official licensed replica, that's probably going to set me back a couple $100. Probably closer to $300, because I want it sharp, and I want to make sure it comes with absolutely everything it's supposed to. Like I said, there is a couple of inaccuracies. There should be gold accents around right here and here on the hilt. However, they're not present on this version. And the throwing knife should also, this and this should be gold, not silver. So, not a biggie. I can deal with it. I can get over it. Not a problem. Once I have the official license replica and do the review on that, you'll see the difference. I'll probably go ahead and pull this down and go ahead and do a nice little comparison between the two, between the official United Cutlery version and this unofficial replica, which I purchased at Wizard World Comic Con. Like I said, be very careful if you get one, because the throwing knife is extremely sharp. However, like I said before, the sword, the blade is not sharp whatsoever. It can be sharpened, however, I just don't recommend it, unless you just want to anyway, because I'm not going to stop you. I can't stop you. But like I said before, so sorry it's been so long since I did a sword review. Let me go ahead and give you one more quick close-up of the sword in the scabbard. So very sorry it's been so long, guys. I want to do more sword reviews. I have a few more swords that I can do reviews on. Stay tuned for that, guys. I also have a couple of more food challenges I'm going to upload. Like I said before, I know not all of you may be a fan of the food challenges or the spicy challenges, but I like to change it up. I want to keep it new. I want to keep it fresh. Plus, I can't afford to buy a new sword every single month or week or whatever have you. Funds are limited, but I'm trying my best. So I've got a few more sword reviews lined up to do. I just got to get all my ducks in a row and do my research on them, because a couple of the swords I'm not too familiar with. My wife wants me to review some of her swords because she has a small sword collection as well. So that's it, guys. This has been the unofficial review, or a review of the unofficial Stryder, Sword of Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. Been a long time coming for this one, so gonna just go ahead and find a place to mount it on the wall or stick it up on one of my sword racks that I got over here. You can't see all of them because I don't have a panning camera. If I had a little remote, like one of those remote control cameras, I'd be able to pan the camera around and you'd be able to see every single last sword that I have, which is nuts. But for now, this setup is going to have to work. I'm using the same area as I do for my reviews and videos on my other channels, so it's just a different corner of the room. So guys, until next time, I'm the Super Saiyan Swordsman. You know where to go when it comes to quality, accurate, and honest opinions and reviews for swords. All sorts of swords. Whether that be media, movies, anime, cartoons, anything cool. Later.